Hi, Richie Zellon here. In today's video lesson, I'm going to teach you Pat Metheny's infamous signature lick. You know the one, right? Everybody that listens to Pat Metheny recognizes that one. Anyhow, I want to rectify the name of this lesson. I'm calling it lick. I'm calling it signature lick, and really the appropriate name for what we're going to learn is motif. We're going to learn this motif that Pat Metheny uses, and we're going to take advantage of this lesson to also learn about what we know as motif development, something that is used a lot in modern jazz improvisation. What I'm going to do is I'm first going to teach you the mechanics, that is the technique of how to play this motif the way that Pat Metheny does it. Then we're going to learn how to develop it throughout different chord families. And finally, I'm going to show you how it sounds when developed in the context of a well-known jazz standard. So go grab that cup of Java, make sure the axe is out, and let's get started. This motif it sounds very hip when played between strings 3, 4, and 6. Let's take the key of C up here. We're going to go up to the 10th fret with our index, and that is the 5th of C, the G. We're going to pick that. Then on the 4th string, we're going to pick the E flat. That's on the 13th fret. So step 1, we pick the G on the 5th string. Step 2, we pick the E flat on the 4th string, and now we go back to the 5th string, and instead of picking the G, we're going to tap it. We're not going to use our right hand, just tap it. And finally, we're going to tap the E flat on the 11th fret. So all together, okay? So that there is simply a C minor. We can develop this motif by rearranging the notes in similar intervals using the notes of the given scale. In this case, I'm using a melodic minor, a C melodic minor. So I'm going to go down to the next note here, which is an F, and I'm using an F, a D, back to the F, and always tapping the second note, which was the D, an octave down to end it. So, and let's take it down another step diatonically. So here I'm playing the E flat on the 5th string, the C or the root on the 4th string, tapping the E flat again, and finally tapping the root on the 6th string. And we get the sound. Okay, let's take it down even one more step. Here we can hear the characteristic notes of the melodic minor because we're playing a D here on the 5th string, and we're playing the major 7th, which is the B natural on the 4th string. And of course, ending it by tapping the B on the 6th string. Very classical, Baroque sounding. Okay, another way of doing this is using an interval of a 5th instead of a 6th, as we've been doing previously. And for this, I'm going to go down to this C here on the 5th string on the 3rd fret, but I'm going to start it on the 3rd, which is the E flat on the 4th string. And this time, I'm going to go up a 5th diatonically. So I'm going to go from E flat to B flat on the 3rd string. Same principle. We pick the 3rd here, the minor 3rd. We pick the flatted 7th, which is the B flat. Now we tap. We tap the 3rd, and we tap, this time, the root, a minor 3rd down. So if I develop this throughout the whole scale, this time I'm going to do C minor, going up the fretboard. All of these are going to be partial 7th chords, that is root, 3rd, and 7th, no 5th. C minor, 7, D minor, 7. Now we have an E flat major 7. Now we have an F minor 7. We have G minor 7. We have now a flat major 7. Now we have diminished and a B and one more scale, because I want to teach you the different scales that I'm going to be developing the motif off in the standard that I'm going to improvise over. The final one is over a symmetrical diminished. And this is a real easy one because we're using the whole step, half step, whole step, half step principle throughout the whole fretboard. And we're just taking a dominant 7th structure, and we're going to start it here in C. So hopefully this has given you an idea of how we can take this motif and adapt it to different scales so we can develop it throughout different chord progressions. So now let's listen to how this sounds in the context of a standard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to improvise over the chord changes to softly as in a morning sunrise. This has a lot of minor chords, and it also has a great bridge where we can exploit that symmetrical diminished motif development. Okay? You ready?
Woo!